Right, the ballers. I hope we are doing good for another day of the BU check-in, where I speak to the camera, trying to improve my skills, as well as speak to you about a thing or two. So today we are going to speak about the Champions League final that happened last night. The world is healing. The football world has healed. Arsenal did not get the double. A lot of us are very pleased about this. I'm quite pleased about it. It would have been nice to see an underdog win the game. PSG were too good. As a team, I would say. The match, I did watch it today. Arsenal, very good in the structure. Okay in possession, they didn't do many passes. They were like 200 passes. Shambles. PSG, over 700. But if they win that game, you go, wow, masterclass in defending, because of the structure. They were so compact centrally that PSG were just having to move it side to side. And it was whoever makes the mistakes loses. Arsenal for the goal. Mascara. It was smart from Kvaratskhelia though. He threw his body in there and Mascara tackled him down. A few penalty shouts as well, very controversial. The handball from Trossard, if that's in the area, different story. Dembele, does he get back-to-back Ballon d'Ors? Depends on how the World Cup goes. I think Kvaratskhelia has been so good this season. Georgia out in the World Cup, so that may affect his Ballon d'Or rating. I think he's got to be top 3 though. I think he's been top. I was speaking on TikTok as well as live before, and Vitinha was getting a few shouts here and there. If Portugal do well in the World Cup, then he might be up there. João Neves has been very good as well. Very combative midfielders, them two. Vitinha yesterday was getting the ball from halfway and just driving through Arsenal's midfield, which I was quite surprised to see. But it was causing problems. And that PSG side is so solid from back to front. The keeper, don't really know much about, but good with his feet. Enrique likes him, trusts him, and he keeps playing him. Defence speaks for itself, so solid. Marquinhos, questionable for the first goal yesterday from Havertz. I think it was Nuno Mendes that was keeping him on. But that back line is solid as well. All 4 of them. Mendes, Pacho, Marquinhos, Hakimi. The midfield, Neves, Vitinha, Ruiz, and then the front 3, Doué, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia. But listen, Arsenal do need credit as well, because they've been top this season. They haven't lost in the Champions League until last night. Rarely conceded goals. And there was a part of me when they scored, I thought, I reckon they're going to do it. Because they don't rarely concede, and stats were that once they score in the Champions League that season, they do not concede. They win the game. And yesterday, the history of Arsenal, past 2 Champions League finals, they've scored first and lost. Crazy. But they celebrated the Premier League today as well. They had the title, thoroughly deserved. There's something about them, I don't know. It's kind of shocked me a little bit that they've actually won the league, because I didn't think they would do it. But this year they've actually done it. And the penalties as well were tough. Gabriel Magalhaes sent it to Jupiter. And Eze, I feel for the boy. He's had an outstanding few years. From England call-ups to FA Cup winner to Premier League winner. I thought it was destined to be yesterday. I thought he was gonna end the story and get him through and win the cup, but it wasn't meant to be. I think he'll be one of the first ones to say it himself, that him upstairs, it wasn't in the script for him. And I guarantee you will say it's all part of the journey. It was all a part of the journey. And that's how you have to look at it. It is very frustrating, and it's sad that he did miss and they didn't end up winning. But as footballers, as people, they've got to reframe it and just think, this is just part of the process. I have to react better from this now. And I'm sure they'll be better off for it. But yeah, it was an interesting one. Very interesting. Did I think PSG? I didn't think they'd win back-to-back. That's another thing. I said, after the Club World Cup game against Chelsea, I watched that game and I went, I don't think they're going to do it again. Because I just thought there was a bit of a complacency or a lack of energy. I don't know, that game, maybe it was the weather on the day, maybe it was too hot. Like, I don't know, but they just didn't look the same as they were in the Champions League. And then, I mean, this year they just kicked on. They've just kicked on again. Kvaratskhelia and Dembele just... Doué as well. Have to give him his props because he's top. He's really good. Everybody likes Barcola. Now, I think he's an interesting one. I think the difference between Barcola and Doué, I feel Doué's got the end product. Barcola's just, I think he's just missing that cutting edge. He's still young, he's at 21. I'm sure that it will come over time, but he has a lot of prospect, Barcola. But that midfield, as a midfielder myself, I always look for the midfield, and it was a good midfield battle yesterday. Mayo, Lewis Skelly, Declan Rice, Odegaard. Me personally, if I was the Arsenal manager, I would have played Eze. I just think Odegaard's physique, and I think he's tidy and technical on the ball, but yeah, I don't know. Havertz loves scoring in the Champions League final. Actually, I will ask you the question. There is 2 people that have scored in the Champions League final with 2 different clubs. Can you name the players? I'll give you a few seconds. Kai Havertz. And who's the next player? I'll give you a clue. It's Cristiano, of course. It's the GOAT. Of course it's the GOAT. The only 2 players to score in Champions League finals with 2 different teams. That's crazy. The only thing is my GOAT won them. He won the games, unlike some. But yeah, the Champions League's done. I can't even believe it. It's been fun. It's been energetic. I've seen a lot of quality. But PSG have come out on top again. Can they make it 3 in a row? Nah. Surely not. That's Zidane's title. That's Real Madrid's. Surely not. For Real Madrid's sake, I hope not. But if there is anyone, Luis Enrique seems like he is that guy. Because the football they play, it's a joke. Guys, thank you for watching. Comment down below what topics you'd like me to speak on next. We've got the World Cup approaching very, very soon. And is football coming home? We're going to do a predictions video very soon. So stay tuned, get subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.